I guess we're all familiar with the story attributed to Heifetz when he said that if he doesn't practice for 1 day, he notices. If he doesn't practice for 2 days, the critics notice. And if he doesn't practice for 3 days, then the audience notices. Well, of course, we're not all as lucky as Heifetz and born with gifts like he was. And also, life gets in the way. Sometimes we aren't able to play or practice on a daily basis. And I'd like to share with you a quick story about what happened to me and how I got back to playing the violin. Now, it could be that you've taken time off to have a family, you could have been ill, you might just have fallen out of love with your fiddle and decided to get back to it, whatever. But sometimes we have to get back to it, and it's how we do it. So, some months back now, I badly injured my left forearm. I couldn't play for something like 7 or 8 weeks. And so coming back to the fiddle was a bit of a challenge, physically but also mentally, because I couldn't just pick the fiddle up and play what I used to play quite easily. It really was going back to basics. And I chose to think about it. I had to think about it because I couldn't play for a long time at all. It was literally minutes at a time. But I chose to think about it as an opportunity to solve some problems which I had and to rethink. Particularly since when I'm teaching, it's a good idea to practice what I preach. So I needed to double check things. And I started to work on a 1-octave scale. Now, that sounds quite simple, but there's a famous poem by William Blake, and he talks about to see a world in a grain of sand. In other words, something so simple, something so small and basic, if you can look inside it and see what there is, there's a wealth of stuff to notice and a wealth of stuff to learn. So let me show you how I started to approach the violin again. Well, so as I say, I use the 1-octave scale. Now, I actually wrote out a lot of different variations to what I'm going to show you. I haven't got the time to show you today. But if you're a subscriber, check out the description box below and you can download a free 7-page PDF of all the exercises I used. For now, I'll just show you 3, a basic one, an intermediate one and an advanced one. But as I say, I do advise that you subscribe, download the PDF, and I actually use these every day now. Even though I'm back to full fitness, I still take a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes a day, just to find my fingers. And the first exercise I'm going to show you is incredibly basic, incredibly simple. I'm going to talk you through. We're going to work in the key of A major. Start with the first finger, A, and excuse me, I'm going to use 1 and 3. Okay, now that might sound simple. Let's have a quick look. Now, I'm talking about how I drop my fingers, obviously in tune. I let them fall freely. Again, check out this video so that you're not squeezing the violin. You let the finger fall freely. But I'm also concentrating on lifting the finger cleanly. Now, my fingers are going to be rather high off the fingerboard. Do I play like that in reality? No, I don't. It would be a daft thing to do because I need to have my fingers close to the fingerboard for speed and facility. But this is about letting the fingers fall and finding a relaxed back knuckle here. This helps with shifting and vibrato. So it's very important. Again, if I let the finger drop and I press too much, there's no point. Once I play the C sharp, I can't kind of extra play a C sharp by somehow pressing harder. Similarly, once I take my finger off, it'll be an A. doesn't matter how high I lift them, it's only going to sound an A. So in reality, I have my fingers quite close to the fingerboard when I'm playing. For now, lift them with an active, clean motion. Then 2 and 4, likewise, cleanly. That's exercise 1. Of course, listen to your sound, listen to your tone. That's something you can work on as well with a very basic exercise. Let's move on to the intermediate exercise. So this is a bit of a step up now from the basic exercise, but again, check out the PDFs below and it'll go in incremental steps. But by the time you've got going a little bit with the 1 octave scale, I recommend something like this. Why is this good? Well, it takes away the kind of linear way of playing a normal scale where it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. As we know from our bow hold, the second and third finger, the middle fingers, work on the same tendon. And also neurologically, it's a good way of making the fingers fall independently so they're not falling down of their own accord. And if you've got the PDF, you'll see I also start to move up the scale with first fingers. Why this is helpful is because the semitones and tones fall differently as we move up the fingerboard. So in first position, the semitone is between the third and fourth finger. Move up a tone, and now the semitone is between the second and third fingers. Move up again, and the semitone is between the second and first finger. Move up again, there are no semitones at all. So it's giving you time and the opportunity to work on new hand shapes all the time. Sounds complicated, but when you see it written down, it's very basic. Then we move on to something a little bit more tricky to make sure that we're in time, and here it is. So now I use rhythms. Of course, we can't always play slowly. By this stage, we need to have moved on to a little bit of quicker speed, and 8 notes in the scale. Why don't we use a sextuplet and 2 notes? So, or maybe swap it round, do a 2 and a 6. Get yourself a manuscript book, a blank one, so you can write out your own exercises. Over the years I've collected, I don't know, hundreds of different exercises I've written out for pupils in lessons. Something that I can really focus on. And as a matter of fact, that's what Heifetz used to do himself. We have this vision maybe that he practiced a gazillion hours a day. He didn't. 3 hours was enough, he said. But focus in. And he was known to practice one shift very slowly, dozens of times. And sometimes he would write himself a little exercise if he had a particular problem with a shift. He'd just put the microscope on it, analyse it, and work on it. So I hope this helps, and if you're coming back from some kind of injury or you're new to the fiddle again, take your time, see the world in a grain of sand, and just go slowly, methodically and clearly, and don't do too much. It's better to do it a little and often rather than trying to force things. That way you'll avoid injury again. Good luck. See you next time.